And joining us for more on tonight's topic is Mitch Perry, the reporter for FloridaPolitics.com, Christine Jennings, the chairwoman of the Sarasota County Democratic Party, and Zach Anderson, the politics reporter for the Herald Tribune. And thank you all for being here. And let's first talk about how this all works. As we mentioned earlier, the Clinton campaign is basing their statewide headquarters in Tampa, and then they send out staff from there. The Trump campaign is based here in Sarasota, but for all the fervor about Donald Trump here in the Sarasota and the fact that his Florida chairman is Joe Gruters of Sarasota, Christine, you believe that Secretary Clinton can win Sarasota. Why?
I truly do believe it. I believe it because the intellect and how many people in Sarasota County are moderates. President Obama in 2008 narrowly lost by 208 votes in Sarasota County, and I think with all the things against Donald Trump, that the intelligent, moderate people of Sarasota County will not vote for him, on the whole.
Zach, you have your finger on the pulse of Sarasota County.
I respect Christine, but you know, I think that Sarasota County is pretty solidly Republican, not, overwhelmingly, but by a decent margin. 2008 was a pretty unusual year. Obama was kind of a pretty, he generated a lot of enthusiasm, huge crowds. If you look at 2012, it was a much bigger margin that Mitt Romney carried the county then. Trump is a huge wild card, though. It's unclear that, whether or not the GOP is really going to get behind him, but Clinton, she really has struggled as well to really generate a lot of enthusiasm. So I don't necessarily see her winning the county, but you never know.
Christine?
I have to say, though, enthusiasm is not the only thing that wins races. And with all the comments that Donald Trump has made, and for example, against Planned Parenthood alone, and so many other things, for that reason, I think you are going to see particularly women of all parties vote for Hillary Clinton. Even if they tell someone they voted for Donald Trump, I don't think they will.
Before I move on, has anybody seen any kind of polling here in Sarasota, Manatee County on the presidential race?
No, nothing locally. I mean, in Florida, there's been a number of polls that have come out most recently that have shown Clinton up by 8, 10, even 15 points in one poll, but I've never seen a local poll here.
Mitch, the Clinton operation is in your backyard.
Yeah.
What are you picking up in terms of how organized are they? Do they have their act together? What exactly are they
I really
doing?
couldn't tell you. I tried to talk with other media people today about what's going on there because it's pretty quiet in terms of activity. But, again, it's only late June. But they wouldn't want to talk to me about this at all. I will say this, our mayor, Tampa Mayor Bob Buckhorn is leading the campaign there, and he is incredibly enthusiastic for Hillary Clinton. He did a press conference last week when the surrogates were all around the country when Trump was doing an economic speech. He gave a speech with a local businessman in Tampa there, so they're getting him out there a lot as a surrogate. But I would say, about, overall the state, one of the other things that's going to be tough for Donald Trump, I believe, and of course he really needs to win Florida to win this presidential election, is the Latino vote continues to grow here in Florida. And surprise, Donald Trump is not very popular with Latinos and Hispanics in America this year. And I think that, not that he can't win some of that vote, but I think that that makes it even harder because of demographics, which the Republicans looked at when they saw what happened with Mitt Romney 4 years ago and said, we got to get more of this vote. We're going to get less of it, it looks like.
It does seem the Clinton campaign is organized. We're getting daily press releases out of the Florida office, and it seems like I keep on hearing their staff is out there. They're going all around the state. By comparison, where is Donald Trump's Florida campaign?
I think that he's got a much smaller staff in Florida than Clinton does at this point. Yeah, I mean, he's got some that have held over from the presidential primary. He's got a state director who was elevated to Southeast director, Karen Giorno. There's still some paid staff in the state, but he has yet to really staff up from what I understand. Clinton has a stronger ground game at this point. She's also been on the airwaves more with super PACs that are supporting her. But again, there is that question of whether or not she has really generated much enthusiasm yet. I talked to a supporter recently who just held a rally in downtown Sarasota. She was so kind of unnerved that she had seen these big rallies for Bernie Sanders and big rallies for Trump, but there really hadn't been a whole lot of visible activity around Clinton. So she wasn't even affiliated with the campaign or the Democratic Party, but just, through like Facebook and other things, got some people together and had a bridge walk on Sunday over the Ringling Bridge, and a small rally drew a few dozen people. So that's the most visible thing that we've really seen from the Clinton campaign.
Of course, we've been talking for the past year about Donald Trump's ability to win these primaries without being well organized. So that raises the question, does he really need to do much more than he has done to do well in Florida?
Well, he does need to do more. I mean, but he is starting to do it, actually. It's taking his time, but, you get daily press releases now where you never get that much from him other than like a speech he was giving. He's hiring a lot more people on a national level. I guess that's going to trickle down here to Florida as well. Look, he's got to start spending some money. I know he brags about how he's been so effective, not spending a lot of money, but I believe it was $8 million in June that either Clinton directly or Super PAC spent in ads here, where he spent zero. And I think that's going to, that's not going to help. And that's the same trend throughout these other battleground states. We saw the stat last week where Trump had like $1 million versus $42 million for Clinton in the bank. That's got to change for him. I think it will, actually. I think, although who knows if he can coalesce the entire Republican Party, but the path they're going on right now, it does not augur well. But to go back to what Zach is saying, I agree in terms of the lack of enthusiasm. I think it's a big deal to see what happens at the convention next month in terms of the Bernie Sanders supporters getting in line with her or not.
Yeah, and a good thing for Clinton, Elizabeth Warren came out and gave this really big public joint speech with her and has endorsed her. So, that progressive wing of the party seems to be coming over to her, which should help her.
Christine, what kind of attention are we going to see here on the Suncoast by the Clinton campaign? I know it's far away, but can we expect to see her here? Is she raising money here? Is she raising lots of money here?
She is, I'm a fundraiser for Hillary Clinton. I have been since she declared herself as a candidate. And I can honestly tell you, people are giving very, very willingly and very happily, and they're eager to give when I talk to them. But I'd like to go back to something about Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump. And that is
she going to come here? I have to
Well,
ask.
I don't know that myself.
Chelsea's
I really
been
don't.
Here and Bill Clinton's been here.
So we've had them here, but if she does, it will be the latter part. It will not be real soon, in my opinion. But I'd like to go back to the unfavorables that Trump has, because his unfavorables are so high, even with Republicans. And when you see people like George Will drop out of the party, when you look at all of the Republicans that are not even going to attend in July, their convention. So there is so much more here. Look at the companies that pulled out.
And we have less than a minute left. I also hear that Hillary's negatives produce a low ceiling for her, which also raises the question about, even if she does win Florida, will there be coattails for anyone? Mitch?
Well, that's a big question, right? Because the thought is that Trump is going to hurt the down ballot candidates here, not only in Florida, but around the country. I don't know. I really think that's an unknown question right now. I mean, both candidates have like unfavorables, right? So that's what's not really very exciting about as we look into this election going forward. Is it's going to bring up a big surge of people wanting to vote and support a ticket of one way or the other.
And we'll have to leave it there. I want to thank you all for coming in today.